On the 23rd of April 1564, in the village of Stratford-upon-Avon, a baby was born, literally quoting Shakespeare. That baby's name was William Shakespeare. 436 years later, another baby was born, also in the 20s of April, also with L-I-A-M in his name, and also insanely smart. Me! What I'm trying to say is, me and Shakespeare are alike in every conceivable way, bar one irrelevant fact. He wrote like 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and a whole bunch of poems. Nearly 1 million words! That's longer than the Bible, fam! Over 1,200 pages of the smallest writing you have ever seen. I mean, just the sound of this thing. So anyway, in this video, I thought it would be fun to read all of it. All of it. Every comedy play, every history play, every tragedy play, every sonnet, every poem. All of it. I am going to finish this book, if it's the last thing I do. Why? Here's the problem. Actually, there's the problem. I tend to buy books at a way faster rate than I can read them. It's not even close. And last night I just thought to myself, this is ridiculous. You spent $40 on the complete works of Shakespeare, and you are never in a million years going to read it. So here I am. Now, according to the internet, it should take the average reader 50 hours to read this book, which is long. So I'm going to shut up and start reading. Hold the phone. Hold the phone, because I actually enjoyed myself. The last time I read Shakespeare, I was in high school. And that was 6 years ago, oh God. I just read a play called The Tempest, which I've never heard of before, and I understood at least a third of it. I'm pretty sure this was about a dude called Prospero, and he used to be Duke, but then he got banished and ended up on an island and kind of turned into a wizard or something. Anyway, turns out the people who banished him get shipwrecked onto his island, and he goes, oh, this is just great. I am going to make these guys' lives really miserable. And that's kind of the whole play, and I loved it. I loved it. I mean, just in this one play. Listen to this. Hell is empty, and all the devils are here. Your tale, sir, would cure deafness. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. And my personal favorite, now I will believe that there are unicorns. One play. That was all in one play. 20 pages out of 1,200. I'm gonna keep reading. So what have we learned after one day of Shakespeare? We have learned that this guy was actually funny. The play I just read, The Merry Wives of Windsor, was literally just an old knight pursues two married women and fails miserably. That is the whole play. I also was just not mentally prepared for the insults. I'd heard through the grapevine that William wrote a good insult, but I was not ready for you Banbury cheese. I am feeling cautiously optimistic. Progress was a little bit slow, but I feel like surely it's going to speed up once I sort of learn the language. Mostly I'm just in shock that I had such a good time. Good morning, my little Banbury cheeses. I am in such a good mood today because I realized that I can just read in my bed and there's literally nothing stopping me. So this morning is 12th night, which is completely wrong. It's only been one night. Okay, let me just start by saying, if this were played upon the stage now, I could condemn it as an improbable fiction. Very cheeky, William, I see what you did there. I thought 12th Night, or what you will, was so much fun. Sometimes I wonder if I'm not just laughing at the wrong bits. There was this one bit in this play, probably the most I've laughed so far, and I don't even think it's supposed to be funny. Enter Malvolio. How now, Malvolio? Sweet lady, ho ho! Smiles fantastically. Is it just me, or is describing a smile as fantastic so funny? Do you guys remember yesterday when I said progress was a little bit slow, but I feel like surely it's going to speed up? Yeah, this is not going to take 50 hours. I mean, not even close, bro. Look at the fraction of the book we've made it through. It's been 14 hours. I should like to end on a positive by saying that Much Ado About Nothing is so good. So good. It was basically about this guy called Benedict and this girl called Beatrice, and they hate each other, and then their friends fully gaslight them into loving each other. Kind of messed up actually, but anyways, that's not the important thing. The important thing is that Dogberry is the best name I have ever heard for a character in my life. And I think I'm going to call my next cat Dogberry because it is so funny. It's a Shakespeare reference, so everyone thinks you're smart, and it's got so much nickname potential. Doggy B, Berry Meister? Doesn't have that much nickname potential. I'm not sure why I put that tree there. A Midsummer Night's Dream is the only play that I have ever seen in the flesh, live. And I was a kid, it was like 10 years ago I think, but I remember getting sprayed with fake blood and I remember loving it. So I think this is gonna be, it's actually very short as well. So this is kind of fail-safe, isn't it? I really like grabbing a good chunk of the book, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, knowledge. Now I know what you're thinking, Liam, why are you smiling fantastically? This is just a 10. It just is, bro. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. This might be the funniest thing I've ever read. The whole play is basically just this fairy called Puck who sprinkles this magic flower juice / love potion on people, and so everyone is just falling viciously in love with each other. And it's so funny. This is the kind of play that makes you realize humor in Shakespeare's time was basically the same as it is now. There is literally a guy in this called Bottom, and he gets turned into a donkey. An ass. So, it was right about here that I began thinking something along the lines of, how have I not even made a dent in this book? I have been reading for 22 hours, 3 days, and it looks like I've just picked it up for the afternoon. 9 plays out of 37, 9 of his shortest plays as well. This was a terrible idea. I am going to scrap this video and start something else. And there's no footage of me saying this because I genuinely thought I would never touch this again. And then... Oh, hi. Sorry. So, I'm back, and here's the dealio. The fact that I gave up on this video has been haunting me. And the thing is, I was actually enjoying the plays. You know, it's just a lot of them. It's a simple lack of motivation. So I've had an idea. Surround myself with the spirit of Shakespeare. What exactly does that mean? Oh, I don't know. Travel to Shakespeare's hometown of Stratford-upon-Avon and stay in an Airbnb until I finish the book. Just an idea that I've committed to by booking not just any old Airbnb, but the oldest house in Stratford-upon-Avon for 10 days. Yes! I'm coming for you, William. I really am coming for you, William. I have to catch a flight like really soon. This should only take about 10 seconds. Right, where was I? Oh, how cool is this place, bro? It turns out it is over 500 years old. Half a millennium. That is older, substantially older than Shakespeare himself. He probably walked past this place all the time. And another thing, who knew they had such modern couches in the 16th century? So this is our home for the next 7 days. Now, I know I said 10, but I kind of forgot to account for the fact that you check in late and you check out early, and I missed a flight. I missed my connecting flight. And I had to sleep at the airport, and now it's 7 days. What are you gonna do? Not miss your flight? I really need to sleep. I feel, quite frankly, fantastic this morning. I had the longest sleep. I've had 2 coffees and, just quietly, I'm going for a third. Shakespeare is here, both literally and in spirit. I have never felt, how shall I put it, more ready to read plays in my life. So ironically, all's well that ends well. In my opinion, it just didn't end well. It just didn't. I'm actually quite mad. Here's what happened. So Helen is deeply in love with Bertram, and Helen has just saved the King of France's life, and the king goes, "Oh, thank you. Of course, you should marry Bertram." And then Bertram goes, "Nah, "You're too poor, Helen," and goes off to Italy to fight in a war instead. Get stuffed, Bertram, no one likes you. Anyway, skip to the end of the play, and they get married. What? It didn't end well. You know what would have ended well is if he'd come back and gone, "Helen, as this play comes to an end, I have decided to accept you as my wife." Bro, go back to Italy. The ship has sailed, my man. I just married Ryan Gosling. This is kind of the equivalent of reading Harry Potter at Hogwarts. Do you know what I mean? I'm just so inspired right now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having such a good time. I cannot believe that we read 12 hours of Shakespeare today. In one day. And when I say we, I assume that you're reading along with me, right? Before I go to bed, I do need you all to know that The Winter's Tale, which I loved, had a Smiles fantastically level stage direction. Exit, pursued by a bear. Hello. Well, good morrow. So this morning is the Comedy of Errors, which sounds a bit like this video so far. It's also Shakespeare's shortest play, and it's our last comedy. Wow, I'm sure you're all as excited as I am. And then it's just the history plays, tragedies, sonnets, poems, Now, I know you are all dying to know what I thought of the first history play, King John. Kind of boring. Whoa, I didn't say that. I just felt like nothing really interesting happened. King John rules England, France is mad about it, they fight again, King John's poisoned. That's kind of the whole thing. Now let me just be clear, there is a very good chance I am just not smart enough to understand this play. That being said, 3 out of 10. If you take nothing else from this video, please take the word betwixt. Because it is so fun to say, and it's so versatile. Could you pass me a book from betwixt those shelves? I will meet you betwixt 3 and 4 o'clock. I love this word. I should end the day by saying that King Richard II was way better than King John. Sorry, John. Faith has been restored in the monarchy to some degree. It was probably betwixt 5 and 7, which is to say 6. I'm a tad concerned. I'm a tad concerned, just a morsel concerned, that we are not reading nearly fast enough. And I say we because I assume you're reading with me. How are you finding it, by the way? Right? Midsummer Night's Dream? Me too! Wow, that's crazy! It's like 5 a.m. I don't know why I got up so early. Okay, William, I see how it is. Absolutely killed it with King Henry IV Parts 1 and 2. Funny, really genuinely funny. There's this character called Falstaff. He's just got some of the best insults that we've had yet. Listen to this particular number. You starveling, you elf skin, you dried neat's tongue, you bull's pizzle, you stockfish, oh for breath to utter what is like thee, you tailor's yard, you sheath, you bow case, you vile standing tuck. I have no idea what any of that means, although I have a pretty good idea what bull's pizzle means. William, here's a little pointer for any future histories you write. Just make them funny. So, okay, progress is slow. It's really slow, but let me just say this about the histories. They kind of remind me of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hear me out. Each play kind of leads on to the next one. And if you've read the previous ones, it makes the next ones way better. You know when Iron Man shows up in Spider-Man Homecoming and you're like, let's go, baby. When King John is mentioned in King Henry IV Part 1, that is exactly how I felt. Oh my God, it's King John! Well, he's dead, but they mentioned him. I think we are gonna have to try and kick it up a notch for these last few days. There is still a lot of reading to be read, man, and time is running out. So tomorrow, it's time to get serious. Yeah, I think we may have exhausted the functional reading locations in this house. I'm just gonna stay here and save my, well, I have to save my ass. Shrek reference. We are officially halfway. Okay, so tragedy has struck. And I say this in both the sense that we have finished the history plays and we're moving on to the tragedies, but also there is no conceivable way we finish this before I have to go home. Or, well, I guess you could pause the video and then you would. You're not actually reading with me, are you? I can't believe it. Honestly, the last few plays have just completely, I mean, I don't even know what happened in King Richard III. I'm pretty sure he betrayed all his friends. No, actually, yeah, I think that's the whole play. It's taking me about an hour for every 10 pages. And I have 500 pages left, fam. 50 hours in one day. Let's see. Seems possible. What are the options at this point? I've had an idea. This is a fantastic idea. What if today, our final day, we don't read anything? Now I know what you're thinking, Liam, is this not counterproductive to the thesis of this video? Let me, just for a second, chew thy question and spit it back upon thee. This is our last day in what is effectively Shakespeare Disneyland. What I'm thinking is, would it not be more prudent, instead of sitting on a bench in the theme park, to ride the rides? I don't know why I'm speaking in analogies, but I'm really enjoying it. What I'm trying to say is I can't be bothered to read today. And so I'm going on an adventure. And you're coming with me. And so began the greatest day of my life. Now, it may have been raining for the first time since I'd arrived, but that didn't matter because I saw the house that William Shakespeare was born in. The school that he was educated in. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 statues of him. His wife's dad's house? Sounds oddly specific, but it was actually awesome. And then, as the day was coming to a close, I saw it. The Royal Shakespeare Theatre playing A Midsummer Night's Dream, my favorite play yet, that very night. Now let me just make it known that I am recording this voiceover like 2 months after I saw this play, and I still think about it every single day. It was so awesome to have, bro, do you know how cool it is when someone else reads the words for you to Shakespeare? Oh, it's way better. It's way better. Anyway. Well, well, well. This looks oddly familiar, doesn't it? Sorry, what? Oh, this old rag? It's not a big deal. It's honestly not a big deal. I won't even tell you about it. It's just not worth the time. I bought it at Shakespeare's birthplace. I bought this shirt at Shakespeare's birthplace for £15, no less. £15 for a purple shirt? That's a steal, if you ask me. Anyway, kind of irrelevant. 8 plays down, baby. Let's go. Wha-bam. What did I think of those plays? Wha-bam. Just like that. Yeah. I've actually been reading for like 4 days straight, and I had to hype myself up to do this bit because for you, it hasn't been that long. But for me, it's been really long. So I just had 3 coffees, and I also just found out that if you just hype yourself up, if you're ever feeling down, just woohoo, let's go, baby! It works like a charm. So basically all of the tragedies so far have been about some sort of time of antiquity, you know, ancient civilizations and stuff, and I loved the ones about Rome. I'm not sure why, specifically Rome, but I loved them. Julius Caesar was just such a bang. I'm sure that many of you know this story. It was basically an emperor is betrayed by everyone and you're not sure if he was a good dude or not, but he's dead. So you feel a little bit sorry for him. Timon of Athens was another highlight, not quite on the level of the Romans because to be honest, I just spent most of the play wondering when Pumbaa of Athens was going to show up. So we have got 5 plays left. And these are arguably his 5 most famous plays. I'm not sure why they're all at the end, but I am a little bit scared. These are the Shakespeares. You know what I mean? These are the ones that you would talk to your aristocratic Victorian buddies about in the 19th century. And they're really long. So I first heard about Romeo and Juliet, of course, through Taylor Swift's song, which is a banger. But then I studied it in high school, so I know this play like the back of me hand, mate. What I completely forgot is that this play is actually quite funny. Easily the funniest tragedy. Listen to this. Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath? How art thou out of breath, when thou hast breath to say to me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou dost make in this delay is longer than the tale thou dost excuse. Roasted! Now there is one part of this play which makes me mad. I'm of the opinion that if you are over the age of like 15 and you're a terrible person, deal with it, man. You're just a terrible person. You can't pull the kid card anymore. So Romeo is just a bad dude. Murders 2 people, one of which is Paris, who is the one who's supposed to marry Juliet, and he's just a solid dude. He does nothing wrong. In fact, he's trying to, you know, honor Juliet, and then he gets murdered. He's trying to take flowers to Juliet's grave, and he gets killed by Romeo. Oh, it's just a tragedy. Makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, fiends and foes, this is it. This is it. I have been doing this video. I should probably talk about Hamlet first, actually, before I do my speech. So someone told me that Hamlet is literally just the Lion King. And I mean, sure, there's an uncle who murders a father to become king, but that's basically it. And I was a little disappointed because I was fully expecting some sort of Timon and Pumbaa figure. And I don't know, man, I guess they're still in Athens or something. Yeah, it's a 10 though. It really is just a 10. This is basically his most famous play, I think. It's the one with the skull and the, to be or not to be. It's just got the best of everything. And actually, I've had a really good business idea off the back of this play. A sandwich shop with a ham sandwich, and you call it the Ham. And then you have a slightly smaller, perhaps bite-sized sandwich called the Hamlet. And maybe you could have other Shakespeare-themed sandwiches. The Dogberry with, jam, and it's shaped like a dog. Wow. And on that note, I shall do my speech. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, fiends and foes, this is it. I have been doing this video for 3 months. What an idiot. It's honestly been the editing. The editing has been a real Banbury cheese. Look how sad I am. And that's more of a me problem, so I'll just continue. Othello is our final play, and it just so happens to be the final play that I read in high school. How about that? We also have the poems and sonnets, but those are so short that I'll just whack them out, and that'll be that. This is it. This is it. I will see you all on the other side. No, seriously, stop it, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye now.